Welcome, everybody. I'd like to introduce Ken Timmerman. Ken has spent 30 years as a reporter deeply engaged in Israel and the Muslim world, and he knows the reality of Shariah from on the ground, literally. Among his many books are Preachers of Hate, Islam, and the War on America, which in 2004 was one of the first to talk about the threat of the Wahhabi lobby in the United States and the threat of what is now called civilization jihad. In his spare time, he is president and CEO of the Foundation for Democracy in Iran and was a Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate here in Maryland in 2000. We'll have some of his books available for purchase and signing out in the hall today. And now I'm pleased to introduce Ken Timmerman, who will be your moderator this morning. Thank you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure, an honor, a delight to be here with you. It's always great to be in a room with conservatives in this state. It's a cold morning like this, a little bit warmer. So welcome to all of you, and thank you for having us here, and thank you for your support of this organization, which I think can play a key role in educating our fellow conservatives and also giving them some hope and some light at the end of the tunnel. There is a future for conservatives in Maryland. There is a future for us. I want to, just as I introduce this star-studded panel this morning on a very important topic, just give you a couple of encouragements. Number one, please take notes. Don't hesitate to take notes. Write down websites, write down titles of books. The names of our speakers, I will give them to you. I'll give you a little bit of information about each one as we introduce them. Get educated. That's what we're here for. We're here to get educated and to make contacts with like-minded people. We're going to talk this morning in this panel about Shariah. Shariah is the threat not of Islam, but of Islamist doctrine. Remember this, it's a very key distinction. We don't have any problem with Islam, we have a problem with Islamist doctrine, and our speakers are going to tell you why that is the case this morning. As Ann mentioned, I've spent many years in the Middle East. I lived overseas for 18 years and spent a lot of that jumping back and forth. I've lived in Egypt, I've lived in Lebanon. I have seen Sharia law on the ground. I've seen what it does. I've seen the repression of Christian minorities in places like Egypt and Lebanon. Saw what happened to the Jews in Iran after the Ayatollah took over in 1979. I also run a foundation which is dedicated to helping the people of Iran. It's called the Foundation for Democracy in Iran. I happen to believe that our biggest threat from Iran is not their nuclear weapons, not even their terrorism, but the regime itself. If we can help the people of Iran to get rid of the regime, we change the whole world. On my founding board of the Foundation for Democracy in Iran was a Shiite Iranian Ayatollah, Mehdi Rouhani. He taught me in Paris for many years about Sharia law and about Islam. He was a dissident. He had to live outside of Iran. He was driven out of his own country by the Islamist regime there. He was a Muslim. I took him once in 1997 to the Defense Intelligence Agency, and I brought him in all of his Ayatollah regalia. You know, black cape, black turban, everything. He was a Sayyid. It was quite a story. And he stopped in front of the glass panel with the stars of the fallen. And he asked, through me, of the people who were bringing us into this panel, if he could say a prayer. So our problem is not with Islam, but with Islamists. All right? Mehdi Rouhani, Ayatollah Rouhani, taught me very early on that a key notion of Islamist doctrine, there is the Dar al-Islam, the world of Islam, and the Dar al-Harb. Anybody know what that means? The Dar al-Harb? House of war. So either you are a part of the House of Islam because you're Muslim, because you're living in a Muslim-dominated country, or the rest of the world is the House of war. That's how they look at the world. So you're going to hear a lot about this morning. Our first speaker is Frank Gaffney. Frank is the president of the Center for Security Policy. He has been really in the forefront of this battle. He has gotten together a team B of experts from the national security arena and also experts on Sharia law to put out his report on Sharia, the threat to America, which I'm sure Frank is going to tell us about this morning. So with no further ado, Frank Gaffney.